So, we're talking about The Ice Tower today, which is a dark fairy tale which stars Marion Cotillard. Look who's here. Catherine Ellis and Max Ellis. So you were interested in seeing this. So when I sent you the trailer, you were all for it.
I wish the whole thing had been more like the trailer.
So this film was inspired by The Snow Queen, the classic fairy tale, of course, by Hans Christian Andersen, which originally was about a boy whose heart is frozen by a shard of magic glass. Set in the 70s, the early 70s in France.
Yeah.
Did you get that 70s feel?
It felt like a film that was made in the 70s. That was
it did.
Really I thought me.
All the fashions and stuff.
Marion Cotillard is a bit of a diva. Catherine, you've got a competition.
What? I don't think so. How dare you?
She behaves like a bit of a diva in this.
Oh, in
she
the
plays
film,
Christina.
my God.
Yeah. So she's Christina. She takes a mysterious interest in Jean, Clara Passini. Her feature debut. Not bad. Not bad job for her first film, I thought.
No.
Yeah, I thought all the acting was very good, actually.
So she's a runaway teenage orphan. She's secretly sleeping on the set of the film shoot for Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen, which Marion Cotillard is in. She's obviously acting in it. But it's kind of trippy because it is, like I said earlier, it's like a film within a film, isn't it? Because they're obviously making this film about that film.
I was feeling really confused. I was sort of thinking, is this a story of her when she was a child, or are they the same person? That occurred to me at one time.
He's his own brother. It's in the past.
Yeah, exactly. He's a ghost. No, I don't know.
Jeannie's haunted by the death of her mother, isn't she? And that obviously becomes more apparent as the film goes on. Because at the start, I felt a little bit confused because of that overlap with what was real and what wasn't.
I thought it was very, very slow to get going. It was kind of like, oh my God, come on. Something needs to happen now.
I believe it's because we've been very conditioned by watching these Netflix series and films where it's so punchy and so dramatic and so structured to make you, salivate for more. I think we've lost the ability to watch things that are, not all firing at 110%. And I think that's the problem. It's definitely, if you're an arty film director and trying to make something beautiful and quiet, how you get people to actually pay attention and watch it, I don't know. We're the TikTok generation,
Yeah, no, you're right, because we don't have an attention span.
Yeah, maybe that's it, but it's like, oh, come on, I've seen this now. What's going to, yes, I know what's happening, now I need something else.
I know what you mean, because I thought, is this more style over substance? Because, I mean, it's not the sort of film where there will be action, but you do want it to chug a little bit, don't you?
There was a lot of lingering shots. Like every shot was like a shot of the screen with nothing on it for like 45 seconds.
We did wonder, didn't we, if they took out all the filler, how long would it actually be to tell the story?
Well, it's 2 hours, isn't it? Which is a tall ask, I think, sometimes.
An hour.
And less than that. She falls over, the orphan falls over. Was it all a dream? Did she ever make it back to the home? Was it all in the imagination of the other young child? We never
that's
saw
a really good point. Yeah,
Who
because
knows?
she cuts her head. She cuts her head and she's got blood on her gloves. That's quite, the beginning of the film, quite soon into it. And I thought exactly the same thing, because I thought, okay, is this going to be like, is it all going to be a dream? And I hate that in films, when it's apparent that it's a dream and it didn't really happen. It's like, oh, it's such a cop-out.
I was left wondering what the hell was going on, to be honest.
Well, I suppose fairy tales are about obsession and our fears. And because this director has done a couple of horror films before, and this wasn't a horror film. It was more fantasy, I guess, wasn't it? Fantasy drama. But it did tap into that nightmarish scene, because a lot of the shots were in dark rooms, so you couldn't really see much around the edges, because it was quite claustrophobic, I thought, some of it.
I really liked the way it was filmed, and sort of watching different screens and looking through holes in walls, and I enjoyed all of that. I just think the story could have been a bit clearer.
Maybe that's the point, though.
It's a bit of a cop-out point, though, isn't it? Like, either it didn't resolve enough or it didn't have enough kind of content to make you wonder. You did feel like you might be being confused and something might be happening that you're not really aware of, or there's some subtext that is going on, but I don't know if it was that obvious.
Because the foster girl, she steals the ID, doesn't she, of another girl called Bianca. So obviously everyone's led to believe that she's called Bianca, and it's not. It's Jean, but she's obviously breaks into that film studio. So there's a bit of deceit there, which I guess is intriguing.
She doesn't deceive the Ice Queen, though, does she? Who knows that she's not as old as she says. In which case, why does she go on to sort of, for her big Me Too scene, where she tries to sort of have a lesbian lech? I mean, how old was she? 14?
I would have thought maybe 18.
No.
Yeah, no, because when she asked her age, because she was asking her how old, she said she was 20, and then it went down and down and down, didn't it?
But it didn't go down as far enough. I reckon she was about 40. She was a child in an orphanage. I wondered whether the Ice Queen had done it deliberately to put her off her, because she'd got very attached to her and was starting to fantasize that she was her mum. But I think she could have just told her to f off.
I think it was because she said about her being her mother, and she wanted to make it quite clear that she wasn't her mum, and I think that's why that happened.
It was quite sad, wasn't it? Because she has this obsession with the Snow Queen, but then she also has that obsession with the teenage girl skating. And there's that one scene quite early on where she's trying to chat to this girl, and this girl just gives her the cold shoulder,
Everyone was quite literally horrible to her, weren't they?
Yeah.
It is all set in the snow. She's actually living in a place where there is snow, so everywhere she goes, it's cold and snowy. But also, she found her mother dead, and her mother was ice cold, so there was that as well.
Well, I was going to say I felt the cold. The magic, not so much. But I suppose there is an atmosphere in that, isn't there? There's an atmosphere
I suppose it was quite magical that she ran away and happened to break into a theatre and then ended up magically not only on the set but in the film, and then gets a lead role.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Max, because we talked about this before, because you obviously have an eye for, because you're a photographer and a videographer, you have an eye for visual flair, and this film, was it ticking your boxes? Was it floating your boat?
A lot of it was very dark, which was good, but I think it would have been better on a bigger screen, in a dark room, whereas, I thought that the mood of it and the filming was so old. I mean, I can't believe it's a modern film. It's shot just like a film from the 70s. I mean, it feels like a 70s film, and also the style of filming's quite old as well. I was watching some old films, from sort of 70s over Halloween. It's got the same pauses and slightly awkward feel to it, which is it's not very Western. It's got that kind of not very American or modern, having those pauses and having that kind of feeling of suspense, but through just deliberate slowness of progress, which is what you're complaining about, wife. I think it is just because we've been educated to want things delivered to us, fast and on a platter and in a very Netflix way. And I think that's what the main problem is, reading it and understanding it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I guess, I mean, I've not seen any of this director's previous films, but her work, I guess, is leaning towards maybe the more old-fashioned style, from what I can see from the type of films that she creates, is that kind of vibe, rather than something really modern. And I guess it's her age as well. I think she's like in her late 50s, early 60s.
Very young then, very young indeed.
Very young, yeah, very impressionable. Like The Orphan, really.
Oh yeah, the one I was watching Dario Argento films over.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff.
And that for me has a similar vibe. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's got that vibe, that slightly uneasy. Profondo Rosso was the one which I was watching, which is brilliant. I mean, really about the dummy, the sort of ventriloquist dummy that kind of comes to life and hacks people up. If you watch it with that head on, that's a much better way of kind of approaching it, I think. Yeah,
because they're not conventional, are they? They're not a cliche. They've got their own style, I suppose.
Well, they have, and their own pace, which is quite different to modern filmmaking.
So it's called The Ice Tower, and it is in cinemas this Friday. Star rating, it had me always fearing that something bad was going to happen, and I kind of like that. I like the atmosphere of it. I thought it looked great. The performances were good. Felt quite woozy. But I think for me it was more star than substance. I wanted more, which sounds really greedy, but I did want something else. It's like something a little more.
What, like an
I'm not
ending?
saying they didn't deliver. Well, just I suppose the story is quite interesting, but I don't know. I think it frustrated me more than anything.
It just hinted at things like the star in the film, who was obviously also troubled. She had this man, Dr. Max, and he said, I found when she was young, she wasn't in a good way. And that's what made me think maybe it was her. It was like her story of what happened to her later. There were obviously parallels, but it made me think, is this a weird way of telling, her story in a sort of backwards, back to front? I don't know. It was just a bit. But I don't know what I don't even know what point I'm trying to make now.
So what star rating are you going to go for?
I'm going to give it 3.5. I'm sorry, I'm back to halves. I'm going to give it 3.5.
You're not allowed halves.
Well, I'm giving it 3.5. Or I'll give it 3 then. I'm not going up. I think it was very beautiful, and I think the acting was really good. I think the script is what let it down, because that's what I was going to say. I mean, we didn't really have any background. I mean, we eventually found out that the runaway girl's mother had died, but that's really all we knew about her. And the same with the star of the film. We knew she was troubled. She had this mysterious doctor who'd found her, but that was the only information we had. So we had there were no sort of build-up of character. We had no reason why people were the way they were or why they were doing what they were doing. So I think that's what was missing, really. Like you said, style over substance.
Yeah, which, I wasn't being derogatory when I said that. I think, because sometimes I think it can be quite rewarding to have just something beautiful to look at.
You see, Max, next time I'm boring you, you can just think, maybe it's enough to just look at something beautiful.
Max, what star rating are you going for?
I went for 3 as well.
Yeah. So we're all going for 3.
I think it was an interesting, and well shot film.
Max is stroking his beard.
Oh my God, Max, what's happened to you? You look like you have an electric shock.
That's like,
there we go.
It's too late now.
Gosh, too late.
That's lovely. Well, listen, always a pleasure seeing you both. Can I quickly ask you what your favourite all-time film is?
Fargo is one of the best films. I think, that's one of my favourite films ever. And
what's the reason?
Shining is pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
Well, the Fargo.
Tenenbaums. But I like films for different reasons. Like one of my favourite films, which is probably a family film, is Stardust with Michelle Pfeiffer. Jane Ross wrote the screenplay. I just love it. It's just one of those films that's guaranteed to sort of make me feel warm and cozy and
warm and gooey. That's not David Essex, is it?
No,
Groundhog
Day. Not David Essex. It's a sort of fantasy about an old king who's dying, and he's got lots of sons, and basically they all have to sort of knock each other off, and the last one standing will be the king. And it's the story of who the kingdom goes to, and there's a magical land beyond the wall. It's brilliant.
Have you got anything to plug?
Well, Max's Christmas jigsaw.
Oh yeah,
and Christmas and T-shirts. He's making bespoke, unique, handmade, hand-bleached T-shirts with a picture of your choice. You're wearing one now, aren't you, Max? Stand up.
Go and snap one up. Go on, give us a twirl, Anthea.
I don't know
it's
how
cultural
much
reference for the kids.
Sense. You can't see my.
Look at that! Look at that torso! Look at the muscles!
Oh my God! He's a beast of a man.
Yes, look, we got round the other way.
Send you the link. Good. Actually, the Head Candy Winter Christmas Ball at Bush Hall. So come down to that. If you happen to live in and around southwest London, I'll be singing a few festive songs with my neighbour on piano. at Teddington Lights Up on the 27th of November at 6:30.
Enjoy. We'll put all the details down below. Give us a final wave, and we'll see you on the next video, because we are going to be talking about Blitz at the Design Museum. Bye!
Bye, Max.
Bye.